Welcome back, my fellow agents. It is I, X7, your agent of animated awesome, and also the host of Zenorama, the podcast of heroes and monsters, co-host of GD Explanations. You should check that channel out. It's lots of fun. Today is Monday, which means it's animated cartoon series. I know animated cartoon is kind of a redundancy, but be that as it may, that's what we're talking about today. We're going to be discussing the episodes 26 through 30. We're well over halfway now through Kimba. These 5 episodes were first aired in Japan from March 30th, 1966 to April 27th, 1966. And in the US, anywhere from April of 67 to December of 66 to May 67, scattered about, depending on whether you saw them once a week or they were aired once a week, or if they were aired 5 times a week, like they were on WDCA Channel 20, the greatest station in the history of ever. Be that as it may again. So, before we get too much further into this, please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, and hit the subscription bell if you want to be notified of new content every day. So, having said all that, let's get into the show. Oh wait, let's start this properly. There we go. So our first episode today is What a revolting development! I'm a victim of circumstance. So what this is an interesting, very interesting episode because the animals, the predators are apparently tired of eating grasshoppers and vegetables. In the beginning, we see Kimba jumping rope with the other animals, and off he goes. See, bouncy, bouncy. These are all the predators, I believe. Dash and Dot are there, and then he goes off. He's like, "Thanks for playing. It was fun." Because he's, the leader. He can't hang out with the kids all the time that are his own age. Apparently, who knows? Then some obnoxious stripe. I don't remember what they call this creature here. It's a zebra, of course. Comes in and is just kind of a jerk. So the other little kids there go to this other old lion who doesn't get a name that I heard. I think they called him something once. And then the lion says, "Well, you can take care of him. Just eat him." And they're like, "We can't." And then he goes to Kimba and Daniel. "We can't eat him." He's like, "Well, we're tired of that. We want meat. We don't want to eat your bugs." If you because they give Kimba the conundrum of, "Well, you let us eat the grasshoppers, even though they're alive," which, and they're dangerous in the swarm they have there. So continuing storylines here, which is a nice touch. I mean, you wouldn't really know that if you didn't see every episode on, each and every day, but because they did, NBC wanted to be able to show these in any order the television networks showed them. But he tells the kids, and Claw gets a hold of it, of course. So Tim and Tab do their songs, and Kimba beats them up and but now they don't like Kimba because they've tried meat. They're looking a little full of themselves there, aren't they? And there's I don't know if that's Dash or Dot's parent, but she's concerned. Apparently, now that the kids have had meat, they want to eat more meat, and they didn't say where they got that. Claw and Cassius didn't, but off Kimba goes, and then he tells all of them to hide because they're going to get eaten. So, and the subplot here is that's Roger's pal Calvin. I they said his last name, but we'll just call him Cal. They've known each other. They're happy to see each other. Cal is trying to invent the perfect meat substitute. Apparently, soy has not been heard of in the Western Hemisphere, but I like soybeans quite a bit. He tried it, but he needs the tickle chickle tree, the pollen or the plants or something from the chickle tickle tree. Maybe the leaves. That's the perfect ingredient, but he ran out, and this is the what happens. So now they're going to go off looking for it, but unfortunately, the predators there are going to eat Cal, and they've scared off his two assistants, who are kind of numbnuts as it is. I just love some of these shots. Look at that perspective there. So, and this. Fortunately, the older lion says, "Well, I'm going to give Kimba a week to get this. If he can prove that it's worth it, we'll do it." So they've got this scientifically advanced decoder here, and dash or dot, again, I don't know which is which, has some of the pollen on him. And where did they get it? The turtle knows. And Polly says the turtle knows. So finally, they put the turtle gets tired of walking. Well, Kimba gets tired of the turtle plodding, takes him on his back, tells him where to go, draws him a map because he's just too tired to go on. So he finds it, and of course, these are Cal's assistants chasing Kimba, who's got all these leaves from the chickle tickle tree, or tickle chickle. Some of them, sometimes they say one and the other. And they end up, their jeeps get exploded, but then everyone's happy. It's perfect. So now the animals don't have to eat they've got a meat substitute they like. The predator is there in Daniel's restaurant, and I think that's the United Nations building. They give Cal an award. He says it goes to Kimba, and they let the bugs go free to return to try to eat all their crops again. It doesn't quite. And who taught them how to use the chickle tickle tree to make the pseudo meat? These things were never answered. All right, here's our next episode, which was not a favorite of mine.
The one who brought the jungle fame. Who's the king of animals in Africa? Kimba the White Lion is his name.
So this is Newton the chameleon. He changes color constantly throughout. Otherwise, you wouldn't really know he was a chameleon. Newton, I can't read what that says. But Newton's a little bitty guy. He's whining about being a little bitty guy in a great big jungle. And there is Gabu or Babu. I couldn't quite make it out. He's the mom here says he's one of those nasty, unruly teenage hippos from downstream. Yeah. And he is a little unruly. See, there's Newton's done something to piss him off. Kimba defends Newton because they don't know Newton's a liar. He's he's the founder, he's the president of the Pathological Liars Association. Yeah, that's the ticket. Mostly he just wants attention because he's a little dim bulb. This is how Kimba sees Babu, when they have their fight, because he gets run into. But then he tricks him into running off into the water. Once again, another lie of Newton sends the animals into a panic because hunters are coming. And Kimba, I don't even remember what's happening here. And there's another panic. He's trying to save himself from getting killed by Gabu. And you can tell Gabu's a teenager because he's got a mustache, apparently. If it was anything like my 17-year-old mustache, you wouldn't even be able to hardly see it. I don't know why why I did that. They keep trying, and Kitty's here. So, that's what Dano says, or Polly says Kitty's visiting. So off Kimba goes. Not fooling anybody here by this time. This is a pretty funny scene though, because Dodie wants to take him to play, and he says, "Oh, nobody will want to play with me." And he says, "I'm even lying to myself now." So finally, Kimba's had enough and exiles I mean, he's mad. You see teeth, fangs. He exiles Newton, but this is how Newton sees things with his, his two eyes, because chameleons have those oddball eyeballs. Yeah, Kitty's rolling her eyes at Kimba. There's just some really good character bits here. I mean, and there he is. You see he's even got a little goatee there, or a soul patch of some kind. And he's like, I give up. I'm tired of running. Just beat me up. Kimba takes up for him. And then finally, the wolves, because this is called the chameleon who cried wolf. So they have to be wolves. Now, I don't believe they're not wolves. I think they're just wild dogs. I'm not sure how, if wolves are uh, indigenous to Africa, but they had to do something. So he is the chameleon now who's crying wolf. Nobody believes him. They all laugh at him. They look like dingoes, but we know they're not. The dingoes are indigenous to Australia, or at least they're in Australia. And in Australia, mate. And um, Gabu fights him. Kimba fights him. That's a great action shot. And then Newton starts because he can spit this stuff in their face, and it kind of blinds them, and they rout them. So everyone's happy with Newton. He realizes he has friends. Gabu goes back downstream apparently, and everyone marches home. Friends, we're all friends. In the dying days, in the setting sun. And now we've got a very interesting episode, the Wild Wildcat.
When we get in trouble and we're in a fight,
It's like this nice. This just sets the tone perfectly, doesn't it? It's just this is a beautiful, beautiful cartoon. It's well laid out. It's well directed. I'm a fan. So there's a thief at Daniel's. I don't know why the monkeys are up awake, but there's a thief trying to steal food. And then he attacks Kitty. Once again, Kitty's here. So there's a lot more episodes coming up with Kitty. Kimba subdues him, and Bucky's got Kitty, and she's out. I mean, it's probably worse in the if we got a Japanese subtitled version, right? They gave her a nice bed, but they don't, put her inside or anywhere. They just leave her out in the open. And they've jailed Wily Wildcat. Wily, and you know what happens to any animal that's named Wily, right? In fact, well, he throws a rock at Polly, and nobody's too upset about that. But so see what happens when you're named Wily? You get thrown off a cliff, and they're all happy. They think he's dead. They throw rocks on top of him, but he's like, "You missed." So I don't know what this Wildcat's supposed to be. I mean, what kind of cat he's supposed to be? It's just interesting. He's just some kind of cat. So Polly's steamed naturally. When is Polly not steamed? Kimba takes him in, and they sleep next to each other, and they have this dream where they're beating each other up, and then they're like, "What?" And you think he's going to eat these little birds, but he just pushes the nest over, and Kimba catches him. Then he splashes. He's just a jerk. I mean, he's much like Newton. He's just a proper fudge hole. And he punches Polly again, well, or hits him with a tree or something. And again, nobody really says don't hit Polly, because there's just a shot where Kimba's scratching his ear like a cat. Any kind of big cat, little cat, they all do the same things. I thought it was cute. Polly, and now Wiley's dreaming that his mom got killed by hunters. That makes Kimba remember Snoween and his mom, who didn't get killed but got drowned because he took her out of the jungle. Then Kimba decides he's going to make friends and do everything that Wiley does. So Wiley's a bad influence. They run around causing problems until Wiley picks a fight with Boss Rhino, where Kimba's even smart enough not to do that, even though he's already had there. So off they go. And then suddenly there's real hunters again. Here, narrator. Yeah, the narrator starts up this. So Wiley goes and causes trouble with the hunters, gets his legs stuck in a. That's not Viper Snakely. I think we've seen the last of him, but it's a nice shot. And now they're warning all the animals to beware. And then Wiley finally gets his moment of serendipity where he realizes that Kimba actually does like him, so they join forces and beat up the hunters. There's another great shot here of two. They look like angry cats. So you go from cutesy to angry. That's a sign of a great artist and a great animators working on here. Now we're pals. He goes in a and he's still got kind of a caustic personality, but he wants to apologize to Kitty. And Kitty's the one that told Kimba he had to make friends. And he does. And he has to make a proper apology. And then he's done. And now we have episode 29, the one, possibly my favorite of the episodes. And that's the one we're going to listen to.
Who believes in doing good and doing right?
Oh, and at the very end, the narrator asks Kimba a direct question, and Kimba looks at the audience and says no, and replies to the narrator. It's a rare breaking of the fourth wall, which happens a lot in other of Tezuka's cartoons, but this is the first time it's happened in this one. So let us pause here.
Kimba the White Lion is the one.
So this episode, your humble agent did see more than once because it's incredibly uh, iconic. I guess it's very memorable because it's kind of a scary episode. I mean, not Darby O'Gill and the Little People scary, but it's scary. We're going to try not to have it last more than 5 or 10 minutes, but I'll do my best. So we start out here in the dark. Just a gorgeous. Once again, look at the colors here: dark purples and blacks, negative space. And are we going to get to it, Mr. Narrator, here? Because the music gets me the copyright notices.
Once upon a time, the animals in Kimba's jungle were threatened by a strange enemy.
And it sure is a strange enemy. It's giving off not poisonous fumes, but
It began one night as the animals were peacefully sleeping. A sweet perfume filled the air of the jungle. Kimba was dreaming happy dreams of his father, the great Caesar. Then suddenly, Kimba's dreams changed to nightmares.
went blood red. So this goes on for a minute, and it's weird.
No! Get away!
I mean, it's freaky. I saw that I was probably 11, 12, 13 when I saw this episode, more than once. Like I said, I don't know if it didn't get played uh, like in a row, the way the Marine Boy episode did 2 days in a row. But Kimba's out of it. I mean, look at his eyes. They're big as saucers.
Vicious devils and witches and fiends! I'll make you monsters go away!
He doesn't. All the animals are being affected. I mean, the bunnies. So it's just quite terrifying, I thought. But then it goes away.
All right, who's first?
He's first.
No, you!
Oh, that doesn't tickle you, though. Hold him, Bucky. I'll teach him to ruffle my feathers.
Wait, Polly, why are you fighting me?
So the waters help them out. And they're hoping, well, they don't know, but Sniffer, the dog, I think is
Explains it, Daniel. It's that strange smell of sweet perfume in the jungle.
I can't smell a thing with this head cold, so that's why it didn't bother me. But Sniffer has the most trouble because he has the most sensitive nose. Yep, the smell did it.
I can still smell it. We've got to find out what it is. Sniffer, lend me your nose. Maybe we can find out what causes that sweet perfume that gives us the nightmares.
Don't worry, Kimba. If it smells, I'll find it. Oh.
So I guess Sniffer is a dog. They kind of imply that. And they go around looking for it.
What? I don't see anything, Kimba. Ah.
Uh-oh. So you're about to see something here, Sniffer.
What is it?
I don't know. Looks like the roots of some kind of flower.
It's not roots, Kimba. Those are tendrils. They're not really tentacles, but we're going to see it there. So there it is, the Nightmare Narcissus, a plant only the Joker could love. And fortunately, the one weakness it has is right here. Oh, we missed it. So it's lightning. So that's the weakness. And that's important to know that electricity is the weakness. And thanks to Benjamin Franklin, we know that there is electricity in lightning. But then we get what is this guy's name? I thought I wrote this down. Cuckoo Professor there, and Roger shows up. Sometimes.
Help! Help! I'm coming.
Do you ever notice how sometimes Roger wears boots and sometimes he doesn't? Because when he met Cal in the previous episode, he had boots on.
Roger Ranger!
So we go, and there he is. He's got a broken leg, and he's working for someone. We don't really know. He doesn't really say too much.
You back?
Uh-oh, Kimba's mad.
No! What are you doing? Cut it out!
Don't try to stop me, Ranger, because he endangered the animals with that horrible plant just for the sake of an experiment. I'm going to see to it that he doesn't do it again.
So Kimba's lost his temper. And when you're a super lion, if you're losing your temper, you could really hurt someone. So they've got to wash because when the Nightmare Narcissus dies, it shoots out seeds and it gets on anyone who's around. So Sniffer and Kimba have to get in the bath and try to kill it, but it's probably a little too late. But here we go.
Any trouble?
Not a bit. Nobody's had a nightmare all day today.
That means no seed is growing yet.
Sounds like Scooby, doesn't he? 4 years before Scooby was invented. So everyone stand and watch here.
We haven't got all day, you know.
Yeah, don't just sit there. Put your thinking cap on. How do you expect him to think of a thing with you two making all that racket?
Daniel's not wrong.
There, why don't we spread out and follow our noses until one of us locates that flower?
Doodly 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 doo. So they look around, and there it is. Bucky finds it.
Oh, the Nightmare Narcissus. It's a nightmare, all right.
So the dubbing does a great job here. This guy's name is Peasel Prize or Prize Peas or something.
It's a rough climb, but it's worth it if I can see the results of my experiment. Now I know how the ivy vine feels.
He's called Dr. Spree in the dub or the Japanese version, but he's got a different name here. So he's just watching all the animals, and there we go. It's growing and growing, and geez, it's horrible. That's probably Billy Lou Watt providing the laughter at that height of there. This is there's precious little humor in here, but a lot of great artwork and animation. Fortunately, Daniel figures out how to stop it. Christmas.
I'm not going to get frightened. It's only nightmares.
It's only make believe to you. That's a Joan Jett song. So off he goes. And, any animal that uses their nose the most. Judo chop.
Wake up and see that you're fighting your own friends.
So, yeah, everyone's in a lot of pain here.
Men, paste it on.
That's sensational, Daniel. We won't have any more nonsense from the scent of that flower.
It covers everyone, Kimba.
Good. Let's get going. Let's attack that smeller.
Kimba doesn't have to wear one because, of course, he's super. And off they go to fight the Nightmare Narcissus, which, unfortunately, they don't know how to stop it.
Look out, Kimba!
So the plants, there are predatory plants out there that eat flesh, bugs, usually bugs, but there he is.
Sweeties, I've been looking for you.
Here we go. See if we can find his name out.
Sniffer, look out! You'll get caught!
I'm used to dog catchers, Kimba. It can't catch me. Here's a can. Dr. Mendel, Sweeties, I've been looking for you.
Mendel Spees. So here we find out what the about electricity.
What's the matter?
Oh, brave animals. I want to destroy the flower and save them, but I can't do it without static electricity.
What?
Static electricity. That's the only thing that can destroy the narcissus.
All right. So now we know that. Roger tells him what the trick is.
Together it hurts the flower.
The animals figure it out on their own. And lots of zaps here and there. Oh, jeez. That mouth. It's a pretty exciting sequence there. Duel.
Hey.
Thanks, everyone, for pitching in as you did. I don't understand how we did it, Daniel, but we did it. Without a lightning storm to help us.
Kimba!
So they figured it out, and now everyone has to get a bath again.
Does.
Now I'm beginning to see the light, I think.
Well, I'm glad the animals are safe. Though I dare say I'll lose my job producing secret weapons for the Reds. Oh well, I can always go back to raising pinks.
So he was working for the Reds in 1966. 67, when this was broadcast and dubbed and broadcast. And he goes back to raising pinks. Not even sure what that means.
Now we've all got a bathe to get rid of any seeds.
What?
So, yeah, back to the bath. Everyone's happy, but they all have to take a bath, so they get rid of the seeds.
Come to an end. Sweet dreams, Kimba.
All right. Yeah, that's terrifying, but it's got a great monster in it. That's a plant, so there's a reason I like it. Okay, let's go back to the still pictures. And just to make sure you have a little more fuel for your nightmares, here's a nice shot of the Nightmare Narcissus. I really wanted to use it as a thumbnail, but we'll see. It's drooling. So obviously, the only thing they could have done worse is given it teeth. It's, not the most serious looking plant monster, but it sure works. All right, let's get through this because we're going to be well past 30 minutes again. Sorry. Okay. Our next episode 30, is Adventure in the City, where Kitty and Uncle Sprecklerex returns, and they're headed to Kimba's kingdom, and they're cleaning up. Unfortunately, Specklerex doesn't really care. He thinks it's too clean and boring, and he does this screechy thing. It's a great job. That's what cats look like. Well, we all look like when you do that. So Kitty tells Kimba to take it easy on her uncle because he's feeling old. So there's several scenes of Kimba jumping around and failing, and so Specklerex thinks that he's this not a mangy old lion, and unfortunately Kimba's a dunderhead and jumps right across the stream, easily clearing it, and then realizes what he's done And Kitty's mad at him. I mean, she's the one that told him to do it. So her, I don't know if that's her uncle or her father, but he has a conniption. Yells at him, and then wanders off. And he's going to go spook a photographer. Uh, that's Don, the photographer, Don Scott Free. I doubt he's related to Mr. Miracle, but you just never know with the the fourth world of Jack Kirby where they show up. But his father there, Arthur Scott Free, or maybe Zurus. No, wait, that's an Eternal. High Father. I don't know. Does High Father have a real name? Uh, just zaps him with a sleeping gas, and out he goes. So that makes Sprecklerex mad, and he goes into the city, follows these two, scares everyone. Shenanigans occur. Kimba tells Kitty that her uncle should not be so rambunctious, and she's just she could be Rachel Green or Lois Lane or Lucy Van Pelt. They're wandering through. A plant attacks them, and all this time, Kitty's not paying any attention while she's talking about how jealous Kimba is of her uncle. She almost gets eaten by a crocodile. The snake comes up. She doesn't see any of this, so it's a cute little comedy bit. And she's still snooty. Well, maybe you're a chicken, and I'll tell you the next time you're in trouble. It's a good thing he likes her. So there's our city, which is, I don't know, maybe Kenya or somewhere in Kenya. And there's our two human protagonists and a very mysterious man who's following Arthur. Much to do about a train. I'm not Sheldon Cooper, so I couldn't tell you what kind of train it is. Kimba does the old comedy bit of running into the signal. And then they drive. They drive a car all over and, up and down. And obviously, this is a humorous episode. They get chased by a train. Specklerex gets on the train, drinks some broken wine, and they don't say it's wine, they just say he's really tired in the dub. They capture him, and they realize that he's a very rare spotted lion. But they put him on a boat, and and Polly's there. So we've had like 3 episodes in these 5 episodes. Kitty's been in 3 of them. Rex gets away, throws a tantrum. Kimba has to stop him from killing these two. And they realize, how can you talk? And Kimba's like, it's a long story. Can't tell now, but we got to go. We got to get Rex back to the jungle. And they're like, and so finally, I don't remember mysterious man's name. Arthur had stolen money, and this guy got put in jail, and then he forgives him. Apparently, that's all he wanted. So and we get Rex back, and they say the last one there is a mangy lion, and he just runs off. There you go. So happy ending after the terrifying 29th episode. And that, my fellow agents, is our 5 episodes of Kimba for the day. And until our next assignment, just look out for talking animals in Africa. This is X7. This is X7 signing off. Be seeing you.
Who lives down in deepest, darkest Africa? Who's the one who brought the jungle fame? Who's the king of animals in Africa? Kimba the White Lion is his name.